Hello everyone, this is Bollo Joshista from Aerobee section. Today I'm going to explain about force and types of forces from engineering mechanics. So, force. What is a force? We are surrounded by a variety of moving objects in our day-to-day lives. Cars, buses, airplanes, boats, and animals. These are all the examples of moving objects. An object that is moving is said to be in a motion, and which we apply the amount of energy that is used to move the object is known as force. So what makes the ball move? The man pushes the ball with the racket. What makes a car move? The man pushes the car. When make a wagon, the child pulls the wagon. So the pulling and pushing effects. In all the above pictures, we can see that there are pulling and pushing and hitting. This all pulling and pushing acting on an object is said to be force. So the formula of force. The quantity of force is expressed by a vector product of mass m and acceleration a. The equation of a formula for force can be mathematically explained in the form of m is equal to mass, a equal to acceleration, f is equal to ma. So force is defined as the product of mass and acceleration of an object. So it is articulated in the newtons. The units of a force is said to be in newtons. Acceleration is given by v by t, where v is velocity and t is time taken. So force is articulated by F is equal to mv by t. So m is equal to a is equal to v by t. So F is equal to mv by t. Inertia formula is defined as P is equal to mv, which can also be articulated as momentum, where therefore force can be articulated as the rate of change of momentum. So F is equal to P by T, that can be taken as dp by dt. Force formulas are beneficial in finding out the force, mass, acceleration, momentum, velocity in a given any problems. So as we know, force is a product of mass and acceleration. From mass and acceleration when we taken as inertia, from inertia formula also we can create the force. Force is equal to the momentum by time. So momentum can be taken as mv, where mv by t, m is equal to mass, v by t equal to acceleration. So there are types of forces. Our coming to our topic, there are types of forces. There are fundamental forces, gravitational forces, magnetic forces, nuclear forces, and muscular forces. These fundamental forces come under gravitational forces, magnetic forces, and nuclear forces, and muscular forces. And also we can see the types of force and types of forces. There are contact force and non-contact force. Coming to the unit of forces, in centimeter grams second system of a unit, CGS force is expressed in dynes. In standard international system of a unit, SI, it is expressed in Newton. So coming to the types of forces, force is a physical cause that can change the state of motion or the dimension of an object. There are two types of forces based on their applications, as we said earlier. There are contact forces and non-contact forces. Contact force. Force that act on a body either directly or through a medium are called contact forces. For example, if you are taking this fist and this palm, there is a contact between these two fist and a palm. So this type of forces which I am using my fist to move the palm is known as the contact force, where it contains muscular force, mechanical force, and a frictional force. The friction is acting between these two, and a mechanical force which I am moving, and a muscular force which I am using with muscles, and force that act on a body either directly or through a medium are called contact forces. For examples of a contact forces, we can take as muscular force, mechanical force, and frictional force. We can make use of muscular force of animals like the bullocks, horses, and camels to get the activities done. The frictional force is another type of force, contact force, which acts between pair of surface in contact and tends to oppose the motion of one surface over the other. Next, coming to know about non-contact forces. So as we can see, forces that act through spaces without making direct contact with the body are called non-contact forces. Coming to the non-contact forces, as we can see, the examples of non-contact forces are gravitational force, electrostatic force, and magnetic force, which cannot be seen through naked eyes. As we can see, when we drop this powder can, we can see there are few types of forces acting on it. The gravitational force, which we cannot see directly, and the electrostatic force. When we rub a balloon with our hair, we can find electrostatic force, and a magnetic force between two magnets cannot be seen through naked eyes. So these are non-contact forces. The force exerted by a magnet or other magnets is called magnetic force. Magnetic force and electrostatic force acts on object from a distance. That's the reason they are non-contact forces. The strength of gravity is an attractive force that is exerted by Earth on objects, which make them fall to the land. The weight of a body is the force that is pulled by the Earth towards the center. As we can see, the gravitational force is different from these types of forces. And types of forces. Gravitational force is a force which objects pull one another. It is gravitational force that keeps us bound to the earth. As we can say, we are laying on the earth due to gravitational force. If there is no gravitational force, we used to float on the earth. It also makes the earth and other planets revolve around the sun. So the gravity acts upon these all planets which move across an axis we have been through the sun, revolve around the sun. So coming to the magnetic force is a force exerted by magnets on each other in the metallic substances. As we can see in this picture, magnet attracts all the magnets and all the iron particles or metallic substances. The force between these two is known as magnetic force. Nuclear force. This is a very dangerous force. The nuclear force keeps together the most basic of elementary particles, the quarks. The quarks combine together to form the protons and neutrons in an atomic nucleus. The power, the power of the nuclear force is 100 times that of electromagnetic force. This pulls together the quarks and forces them to fuse. It is also used in missions that require tremendous power to work, like submarines, atom bombs. These atom bombs and hydrogen bombs and these types of bombs are using the nuclear forces. The force between the nucleus, the inside the nucleus, there are neutrons and protons. The force between them is said to be the nuclear force. This is very powerful force across all the forces. Muscular force, as we can see, these types of forces can be seen in a daily life. Animals, the like ox, can be used to pull the cart behind it, and as we can see, some workers can lift their rocks, etc., in which the muscular force acts. So coming to the contact forces, there are applied forces, spring forces, drag forces, frictional force, normal force. Coming to the non-contact forces, magnetic force, electrical force, gravitational force. In applied force, we can see that the two bodies come into contact and move away from each other. In spring force, we can see the spring moves from up and down when the force acts on it. The drag force, which we can see in parachutes, the force that acts from the parachute backside, and a frictional force, which is the surfacial force between two surfaces. And normal force, as we can see, we are laying on earth. So these are all about the forces and the types of forces. Hope you all understood.